Hello, this is Doug Brook at NorthStar DHI Services. Today we're going to be looking at breeding procedures in PCDART. We can get to the Bred part of the input desk by going to a menu item that says Input Desk, or we can click on the open book that's the input desk icon in the upper left corner of PCDART. Once we choose Bred, I am going to breed 3 cows today. That's 789, 965, and 724. I'm going to apply individually to each one of these animals. What we want to do is put in the service sire. Today we're going to be breeding this cow to 7HO9925. Tech number 2 is doing my breeding and my triggers and times. We want to keep track of all this kind of information because it is available within PCDART. I bred her because she was standing. So then I say done, and now I come up to this next cow, 965. I'm going to breed her to a different bull. I'm going to start off with 7, then I use a period, and that's going to bring in H as a Holstein as part of my NAB code because it looks back at the breed of the cow that you're breeding to put that NAB code in. And then we're going to have 10233 as the rest of the number. Bred by tech number 2. This is a timed AI breeding, so then we'll say done. And thirdly, I'm going to breed cow number 724. I'm going to breed her to a different sire, but I want to be able to create a drop-down list with all my commonly used service sires. So I'm going to this magnifying glass that's here on the screen. I am going to select a file. I'm going to create a new one. I already have one that's created, but I'm going to call this new cow. And the commonly used service sires I'm going to pick them from an all bulls list, which is actually looking at standard report 110. So my commonly used service sires today, PGA, Rebel, and Dictate. So I know these are my commonly used service sires. And I am going to save that, make it my default set, and then say OK. So now in my drop-down list I have these cows plus the last used NAB code when I was breeding cows. I'm going to breed this cow to PGA. Its trigger and time is going to be chalk and paint. Then I say done. We can readily go to our conception tracker once we have cows that have been diagnosed pregnant to see how well cows are conceiving. Once I go to my conception tracker, I can choose view, which is month. I preview that. I know that month by month it tells me the percent of cows that were bred, and I'm looking at percent conception rate and services per conception. If I want to look at technician number, because we're using that as an input desk item, we go to technician, change view, and this will tell me how each one of these technicians are doing in getting cows pregnant. One other thing that I've been using within my breeding screen would be breeding triggers. So I'm going to look at breeding triggers, change the view, and I can see which one of these breeding triggers, since I'm using those, actually is allowing for a higher conception rate and services per conception, a lower services per conception rate. So putting information into PCDART, it's always nice to know that we can pull it out fairly regularly. One thing we were looking at earlier today was the standard report 110, which is a bull file list. Once I go ahead and preview that, or I could double click on it, this will show me all the cows that have sires. This will show me all the bulls that have daughters or breedings in this herd. As I scroll from page to page, I can see that there are some actual daughters for some, and these are my commonly used service sires on this particular part of the page. So once we're going into the input desk, if I go to Bred again and I choose cow number 789, apply individually. If for some reason I made a mistake, I can always delete that and put in a new breeding, or I can actually edit that information and change the service sire if I had actually put in the wrong service sire. So once I say done and then OK, even though it says it's not in the service sire, it will add that to that standard report 110. So we have all our commonly used service sires and daughters of bulls that are in the herd. This is Doug Brook at NorthStar DHI. You may contact me at either one of the telephone numbers listed on the screen or drop me an email. Thank you.